protest now, the rally. So it's 12 o'clock. So if everyone can get to their position, and we'll be going soon, okay? Okay. Yeah, you can stand there, yeah. So everyone get to their position. So we'll be starting now. My name's Fabian Yaron. I'm one of the organisers for today's protest rally. Today we'll be speaking from 12 until 2, and then from 2 to 2:30 or 2:40 we'll be marching. We'll be marching to Stirling Gardens, and we'll be staying there from 2:30 or 2:40 to 5 or 6 o'clock. So there's 3 segments here: Forest Chase, marching, and also Stirling Gardens. So, and also housekeeping. Today there's plenty of water here. Toilets over that way. We've got our marshals today in the orange vest. So if you have any problems, go to the yellow vest. And also our petitions online too. That we're going to do a petition to the state government as well. Also, there's a sign-up sheet for everyone later on to sign up, because after this, when we go to Stirling Gardens, we want to mobilise and do things on a fortnightly or monthly basis instead of doing one snap thing every year. We need to do proactive and let the West Australian government know that what we're doing and trying to get some outcome for us. Also, Herbert, you want to come up? I'll get Herbert to come up, and he's our MC too. I'm just waiting for Herbert to come.
Hi, how are you going?
And also, when Herbert comes up, we'll get him to do the okay, we're getting the order Uncle Henry Hable to welcome the country, and then we'll get Herbert Bradford to the smoking ceremony.
Kaya, Murray Mob here. So great to see you. Welcome to country. Nanak Jurpin Monju Nanak. Nala Nunga Buja. I am pleased to welcome you into our Nunga country. Nichi Nala Mur Buja. Kura Kura. This is our ancestors' land from the dream time. Nichi Ngala Kala Buja, Kura Wanking Ngani Ngala. This is our homeland of history. Jurpin Mur Ngala Buja, Kura Wanking Kedala. And as one, we are a proud people of our land. Ngala Yanking Ngala Nunga. Nyityang Ngalak Kanyini. Through history till today, we stand together, black and white. We are one. Thank you.
And now we're going to do the smoking ceremony. Herbert Bradford, you want to do the smoking ceremony?
We've done the smoking ceremony. The smoking represent in my community as sitting around the fire and having a conversation. A welcome to country is different to each community. When we sit around the fire to listen to the stories of the old people. The people that give us the job now to keep fighting for what we believe. I come from a poor family. My family has been struggling all through their lives. The first community to be closed, the last community of Aboriginal people to leave a mission. My family are the Profo family. I stand here in front of you today to ask you to help me trying to get back my community that has been stolen by the government. Not only by the government, by Aboriginal people too. People who work in corporations telling me and my family what to do. You know, it is sad that Aboriginal people got to tell other Aboriginal people what to do and how to live their lives. Everybody knows us, the Profos. We lived a life of poverty. We lived in a place that no Aboriginal group would live. We came out of it and we made something in our community. We made a life to be crushed by other Aboriginal groups who are jealous for what we've done. Today, I am a well-respected elder. Sometimes I am a respected elder. If you want something from me, you will come to me and ask me. And when I get you to that place where the wealth and the honey and the lifestyles, then you forget about me. You chuck me aside. I am the face of Rockness. If you go on the Rockness ferry, you see this black face. I am the face of the Fremantle Bridge. I am the face of Matagara. I am a troublemaker. Just one man by myself. People hate who I stand for. Justice, respect, culture. I've been to many communities and stood up in front of these elders and said, I wanted to look after the island, to look after the men, our warriors. They didn't want that. I'm sorry to say, top shelf blacks come first before grassroots. I have always been a grassroots. I lived here all my life. I walked along the streets. No one pulls up and asks me, do you need a lift? Because my way of life is just my 2 feet, my brain, and if I'm coming for you, you beware. Because this voice has no button to control. This voice is a loud voice. And when you hear me coming, you know. But at the end of the day, it's about invasion day. It's about taking the land. It all comes into one thing. Give us something back. We've been sick and tired of giving you everything. The honest truth, we got fuck all. I live in a fucking poor down broken house. I don't live in a big flash lifestyle. I'm a criminal. I have been in institutions. I have seen many deaths. I heard voices cry at the night when they're getting taken away to never see them again. I have been in the Fremantle riots. And then there you got people sitting in the white government's houses and sitting on their tables talking shit and telling lies. I'm talking about my people. The people that we put up there to speak in behalf of me and my family. I'll be coming back every year. The year and year after. Until the day they lay me 6 feet under. That's only the time you'll get this big mouth to shut up when you bury me.
Thank you, Herbert, for the kind words. Our next speaker is going to be Henley Haywood. And also all the speakers that want to speak today, if they can come up to the stage so we can so we know who wants to speak today, okay? Thank you.
Kaya again. Today is a day of mourning where we remember the many who resisted. The many who suffered under the heavy weight of invasion and ongoing settler colonialism. This year marks 200 years since the invasion of Menang country in the southwest of Noongar Boodja. 200 years of strength, 200 years of survival, 200 years of truth waiting to be honoured. I stand here as a Noongar elder and say this clearly. Our story did not end 200 years ago. Our story is not finished today. And all those who think they can stonewall, hide, or that we will forget, you are on notice. We will never forget. Never. Today, we stand together, united, and we will not be silent. Not when our people are dying in custody. Not when our children are being taken and locked away. Shame. Not when our elders are denied support. Not when our families are pushed into homelessness. For over 30 years, governments have ignored the Royal Commission into Aboriginal deaths in custody. We demand the full implementation of all the recommendations of the Royal Commission into Aboriginal deaths in custody. Not passed on from one government to the next. We demand independent investigations into deaths in custody based on Red Cross and United Nations standards, especially in a country like Australia. We demand health care, Medicare, PBS access, mental health and addiction therapy in every justice institution. We demand that every justice worker carries a real duty of care with mandated cultural awareness training. End the lockdowns, increase staffing, meet international prison standards. We demand housing justice, end homelessness. Shelter is a human right for everyone. End the three-strike eviction. Open safe places now. Include unused facilities that sit empty while people and families sleep in cars and on the streets. We need bail houses. We need halfway houses and more women's refuges. We need support when people are released, not a pathway back to prison. We demand the full implementation of the Healthway Earlier report into child justice. Shut down Unit 18. Change. Build smaller therapeutic centres on country. And a Children's Act grounded in the rights of the child and the Human Rights Act. We demand independent oversight of police. Culturally appropriate employment opportunities for the grassroots people. Trauma and culturally informed healing, mental health and addiction therapy. Protection of our country. Help us build strong, healthy communities. Stop tearing us down. This is not about policy, just about policy. This is about survival. Every voice here matters. Every lived experience matters. Don't let anyone tell your voice is too small. When we come together, when we speak together, when we refuse to be silent together, this country has no choice but to listen. United, many in body, one in mind. We can fight for real change. Thank you for listening to me.
Mustafa, you want to come up and speak? He's part of the Palestine movement, so he'll be having a few words, and then we'll get Bree to speak after him, okay?
First of all, I begin by acknowledging the Wajak Noongar people, the traditional custodians of the land we are here today. I pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. And I acknowledge that this land was never ceded, always was, always will be.
Aboriginal land!
Today is often called by many others here Australia Day, but for many, especially the First Nations people, it marks invasion, dispossession, and the beginning of an ongoing colonial project that has never truly ended. As a Palestinian standing on Wajak Noongar Boodja, I'm here not just as a guest, but in solidarity with the people of this land. What happened here did not happen in isolation. It's an ongoing settler colonial project that has been happening globally. Britain applied the same business model of colonial domination on the Noongar Boodja and is applied to Palestine.
Fuck the colony!
This model relied on invasion, left threat, the erasure of the indigenous people, and the rewriting of history to justify violence. Both invasions rested on the same foundational lie of terra nullius. For those who don't know, that's the claim that the land was empty and the First Nations of that land did not exist. That lie justified massacres upon massacres, and it was false now and it's false then. They will not erase us. This colony was explicit, and Palestine as a colony was explicit. In debates in British Parliament, Palestine was repeatedly referred as a conquered territory, a colony and possession. When the UK Parliament demanded that British firms be granted concessions for development projects in Palestine, Jay Busher, MPs, stated plainly, we are in Palestine as a conquering nation and demand that British workers and manufacturers have a share in the spoils. And that's what happened exactly here. This statement was the welcome mat for Zionism to establish itself, not as a refuge, but as a settler colonial project. What followed was coexistence, not coexistent, by escalating oppression aimed at complete dominion, displacement, and eradication of the First Nation people. And not just the eradication, but their existence. If that sounds familiar to you, it's because we know this story as well. And on top of it, this has created intergenerational trauma, which was carried by our communities and this community. It was engineered by the same powers today, using the same logic that our lives and First Nations lives are expendable, that land can be claimed by force, and their resistance can be criminalized. Yet despite this, we're still here. And we have a lot in common. We have a term called the Thawabit, which is our principles, which aligns with the Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, which recognizes the right of peoples to individual and collective self-defense if an armed attack occurs. Including against Indigenous people until the Security Council take an action. But who knows when they will take action. When such actions do not happen, and as long as it's delayed or deliberately ignored, we do not accept just sorry. There is no sorry until there's action. At that point, responsibility does not disappear. It shifts and moves to the people. This is why we are here. In solidarity to uphold international law, or so-called international law, and demand accountability where governments have failed us. Let this be a day where this is not just a day of Chavism, of symbolism. This needs to be a day where you actually take action. Speak to your local members. Demand, make demands. We echo the long-standing demands of Aboriginal resistance, movement for land rights, sovereignty, self-determination, and to an end to state violence against, and a demand to unnecessary custodies. This requires concrete action, ending arms and exports to all oppressive military occupations globally. Ending diplomatic cover, imposing sanctions, supporting international accountability measures, aligning policy with law rather than profit. And just as a friendly reminder, Herzog is not welcome. And lastly, the union between Palestinians and Aboriginal people is strong. It's beyond strong. It's intrinsic, forged through no choice of our own, but through shared history of settler colonialism, invasion, and refusal to surrender. We refuse to disappear. And for those who tell us we need to be grateful for this opportunity, I'm sorry to tell you we refuse to be grateful for crumbs. We got enough crumbs in our lives and we will not take any more crumbs. We are the same struggle but different uniform. Our liberation is tied together. Until justice is delivered here in Palestine, resistance will remain legitimate and necessary. Always was, always will be. Thank you.
Our next speaker is, she's a Noongar person, and also she's part Muslim, Arab. Her name's Bree, so she'll be the next speaker, okay?
Today, we are not here to celebrate, but to tell the truth, to honour survival, and to demand justice. I acknowledge the ancestors of this country who survived invasion so I could stand here today. My name is Brielle Jackson, and I'm a proud Baladong and Wadandi Noongar woman born and raised right here on Whadjuk country. And I am also of Arab and Rutian descent. And today I speak as a part of Students for Palestine, a nationwide group of student activists who have come today to stand with me for the Noongar people. Two identities, two histories, and only one struggle. Because whether it's Aboriginal people here or Palestinians overseas, the story is familiar. Stolen land, stolen children, and stolen futures. Because racism has shaped my life. I have always been made to feel like I've never belonged here. I've had to prove who I am every day. And when I became a hijabi, people didn't just question me, they absolutely denied me. They told me I couldn't be Aboriginal if I was Muslim. As if rejecting the white way of life that we were taught to be good Christians made me somehow less Indigenous. Australia Day is about celebrating what the world has shaped as a white Christian nation. But this is not who we are now. We are First Nations country, and today a country full of all walks of life, of all religion, and of all skin tones. We should not need to validate our own choices on our country. From a young age, I was told I was nothing but a worthless blackie, being told that I wasn't even going to finish year 9. And when people found out that I was Arab, I was told that I was just trying to hide behind my Arab heritage, to try and cover up coon genes. This is not a country that is worth celebrating. This is not a country that I and so many other young people feel safe in anymore. How are we expected to move on and love this nation when this is how we are treated? And on my Arab side, my family, unfortunately, know displacement as well. In 1968, my grandmother fled the Middle East with my uncle after her first husband was killed by colonization. Unable to feel safe in her own home, she had to run away. And when she came to Australia, she was taught to look down on my dad's family. But instead, she learned respect through witnessing the absolute resilience of Indigenous Australians. My stepfather, Mohammed El-Masri, fled Gaza with his 2 sons after an Israeli airstrike killed his wife and his newborn daughter. He was treated like an outsider in his own homeland, which is why I learned his culture, his story, and his bravery, which is why I stand for the people of Palestine as well. And on my Aboriginal side, the violence was here. My father never got to finish high school, which is why I stayed up endless nights studying to make sure I would finish year 12. Not a big achievement for many, but for me it was the first step of beating a systematic barrier that has been made for people like myself to fail. And today, my stepfather opened his own rehab centre in Kununurra, where he helps young Aboriginal boys get off drugs and become the people they are meant to be. That is survival turned into resistance. Because racism against Aboriginal people is completely structural. It's in the deaths in custody, it's in our prisons, it's in children who are still being taken away from their mobs today. Because invasion is not history, it is ongoing. And our struggles are connected by colonization, by a white supremacy, by a world that is so comfortable watching black and brown people suffer. And you know what? I will stand here and say, I am Aboriginal, I am Arab, and I have a right to be proud of both. I have a right to exist on my land, and I refuse to cut myself in half to make this white country comfortable. I carry the strength of my ancestors, and I carry the responsibility to speak for my elders today. For my elders past, present, and emerging, I will continue to carry on the fights and the call for justice. We cannot stand here and celebrate on a day that marks the ongoing torture and treatment of my people. This is not in the past. Justice is not selective, and freedom does not stop at our borders. So shame. Shame on this government, and shame on this absolutely cruel world that we have built. It took...
of the Swan River, the first bloodline, matriarch, mitochondrial bloodline that has been, heritage has been stolen away because of my mother was named Beryl Miller. Now, I'm tired of this system. Now, I come here today to remind people of my bloodline. You see the two flags I got here? Well, that is my bloodline, the British. I am from William Locke Brockman. That is my Jewish bloodline. And I'm tired of everybody here arguing. Over what? Because it's a racist system? We need to start growing up, because I am from the first bloodline. When they talk about all the way back at Nangara, no, Wangara, that lady they speak about is my grandmother too. We are the forgotten bloodline here on the Swan River. And I come here today in honour to bring everybody here together. Enough of the racism. I have been standing with Palestine, and I have been standing with the Australians for 14 years. And inside of that 14 years, my family got murdered. All because they want me to shut the fuck up. I'm a grandmother too, of 4. I raised two daughters that I brought into this world. Only 2 weeks ago, DCP rings my daughter and asked her, what a connection do you have with your auntie, Maretta Kickett? My daughter stood on the phone there, sat there with her head down, and she cried and she said, how dare you people for defaming me of my rights to my direct bloodline mother. I had no help and support since 2023. Both of my family got murdered. One got murdered 3 days before my daughter on the 3rd of August 2023. I mourn for my oldest brother because they shot him up with a dirty drug down at Rockingham Caravan Park. 3 days later, I was at Centrelink there trying to get a cash counter check there to go down to Rockingham to find my family, to be with them on a heartbreaking time when my brother got actually murdered and they had battery acid in his vein. So, you know what? Come the 7th of August 2023, I was at Centrelink Joondalup there getting a counter check. Straight after I got a counter check and that there, I actually spoken to my daughter. Momentarily before she got chopped up in the bathroom. I asked everybody here to support me. But nobody never stood there with me. Last year on the 13th of August, last year, I stood there by my side with my daughter, and only a couple of people who stood there at the courts down here where I got justice for my daughter. Where's the crowd now? I go to court on the 5th of March and get sentenced for 50 years. My daughter's family was George Woodley, the first gold prospector that found gold here in Western Australia. I am the mother of David Woodley's children. Many years ago, I got beaten up, bashed up, and lost my other 7 kids. But no one was there to support me. But I'm here as a strong mother because I'm tired of hate. You got Auntie Betsy here. She's a direct bloodline because she married our family through the Drake Brockmans. This is my flag. I have an honour I honour this flag here because that's my British Scottish side. I'm a butler. I'm a slave. My Jewish name is Brockman. I'm tired of all this splitting down the middle here, especially when it come back to way back over there when it wasn't our fight from the beginning because we're a different species. I am a genealogist. I am the matriarch. I come from all the king's bloodline all over the world. And I will never deny my race because I am standing here on my territorial grounds here. interest until we start doing the right proper thing. And by joining the dots together is by doing your family tree and doing the DNA. But 4 years ago, a lot of people complied with the vaccination. And that's where I'm here to stand here today to make sure I'm helping you people here to make sure we're on the right track. We're on the right track to health and recovery. Look at how much weight I've lost 14 years ago. I've lost 50 kilos since my daughter got murdered. How do you think I felt when the media went and put it on the news there? I just split her head open and I see her brains down in the bathroom. Can you please come and fix it up? And yet the people who've been fabricating my heritage, taking my daughter's name up to Acacia Prison, taking my daughter's name over to Alice Springs, taking my daughter's name up there. But I'm here because I am the rightful bloodline, and I will stand with you people here through thick and thin, through storm and rain. And that there because why?
Hey, sorry to cut in.
I help you. I'm here.
The police want
Now,
us to evacuate.
Uncle Herbert
But
standing
we
Lockridge
don't
today.
evacuate. We stand our
Standing
ground.
Lockridge today.
We'll
That's
finish
my
the man and we'll
grandfather's
march.
inheritance.
Okay?
My grandfather's inheritance. I am Douglas Kicker's granddaughter. He owns the Swan River. Every single one of these people here comes underneath of me. On my matriarch side, come from my father's side, Douglas Kickett and Herbert Kickett and Thomas Kickett. On my mother's side, I'm Maggie Colburn's granddaughter, the 5th generation to Yagan. Now what we need to do is come together because I'm carrying my flag here, and guess what my flag is? I stand with the Australian flag because of why we all stand together, we all come together in DNA and in justice, and we all come together because these people here forgotten who I was.
Turn this way.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Sam.
Before Sam speaks, the police are asking us to move. There's an incident happened. We won't move. We are going to do our event and we are going to march, okay?
Thanks, Fabian. Look, I'm a Wadjala, so I want to keep my comments brief and I want to direct them to fellow Wadjalas. Many of us have been marching for the last 2 years against the genocide in Gaza, and so we should. But as Wadjalas, there's two things we should never forget. One is that Israel would love to achieve in Palestine what settler colonialism has achieved on this continent. The second thing that we should never lose sight of is the fact that the genocide hasn't stopped. Because we need to understand that genocide doesn't just mean killing people, and people are still being killed, including in this country, but genocide also means destruction of the ability of people to transmit their culture. How do you continue to transmit your culture in a country like this, where poverty is criminalised, where best practice in culturally sensitive and bilingual education is not implemented, even though all the studies show that it works best? How do you transmit culture in a country like Australia, where we have a housing affordability and homelessness crisis? Let's not forget, only 3.5 years ago we had a bitter winter in Perth where 9 Aboriginal women, homeless women, died on the streets of Perth. How do people transmit culture when they don't have real land rights so they can prevent abominations like the destruction at Juukan Gorge? Now, all these things that people are saying have to change in Australia, they're modest things, they're small things. But when you ask for them, people still say, oh, but where's the money going to come from? But that's getting the question the wrong way around. We've got to ask the question, where's the money going to? When we go on our march, we're going to cross St George's Terrace. Rivers of gold flow down St George's Terrace every single minute of the day. This country can afford everything, every demand that has been raised so far, many times over. Make no mistake about it. But we've got to fight on our hands. We've got to fight on our hands even to do the most those basic things. And this is where Wadjulas need to step up. Wadjulas don't want to speak on behalf of Aboriginal people. Of course, we don't. But none of the things that, the fights that need to happen, you don't need to ask anyone's permission. We need to get out there and do it. And we've got to fight because right-wing forces in this country are pushing back. A few years ago, we thought, oh yeah, change the date. Things are moving forward a little bit. But do you know that normally when we do this march, we end up at the Birak Festival? There is no Birak Festival this year. There's no Birak Festival. There is no Birak Festival. Why? Because the City of Perth pulled the funding for the Birak Festival. Instead we've got Australia Day fireworks sponsored by Hancock Prospecting. And after the referendum, what was the response of the federal government? They could have pushed on and done a whole bunch of other things, but they haven't done them. They've backed off. And they've allowed the right-wing forces to push into that space. And they're not just coming after Muslims and migrants and Palestinians, they're coming after Indigenous recognition too. They don't want to fly the flag. They want to pump up Australia Day, all that stuff again. So we are going to need to build a grassroots movement to push back, to claim back that space and start to win justice. And as Fabian said, the Invasion Day Organising Committee this year is serious about ongoing action. We've got a petition over there we want you to sign to calling on the state government to do the bare minimum and implement the recommendations of the Royal Commission. And we've got a sign-up sheet so you can get active. That's not once a year. We make it every single month of the year and beyond.
If you look now, the police are coming to move us. Stand your ground.
This is our land!
say, a bomb threat or something like that. We've got no way of knowing whether it was something innocent, whether it was made up, or whether some of the March for Australia lunatics have done it deliberately to try and disrupt it. We just don't know. We just got to stay calm, focused, and get Clint up to the microphone because he should be speaking next.
Also, who wants to speak? Come up now. Len.
Hi everyone, my name is Tanisha Bedell. I am a proud Whadjuk Balladong Noongar woman. I was planning on doing a poem, but I think there's something more important to say right now. The City of Perth have cancelled the annual Birak concert, which is a regular place that we choose to gather and celebrate and mourn and grieve. They have chose to do this without community consultation. They have pointed blame towards Aboriginal community members for their own failure, and they need to be held accountable. The Birak concert is a concert that was put on by the City of Perth. Ultimately, they are responsible for the delivery of that event, and they have failed. And this is not okay. If we had the Birak concert, there would be no need for us to gather here. If we had safe spaces to show up as mob, we would not need to gather here. Everyone should be angry. We are seeing displacement in action right now. Everyone, please move forward towards the speakers, towards my voice, please. We are trying to put forward a movement to the City of Perth Council to reinstate Birak concert. It is a part of their cultural development strategy from 2019 to 2090. They are failing. They are failing their own strategies. This is their own commitments that they are not meeting as a council. They are ultimately responsible to all of us, no matter where you reside in WA. They are the capital city representative council, and they need to be held to account. So I please urge you, there are petitions circulating. There's a petition online for them to reinstate the Birak concert. Please sign it and please support. Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Roxy.
Kaya. Nankarich Nidja Whadjuk Noongar Mo Budja Wakurukuru Wayeyu Emila. My name is Roxy Moore. I'm a Noongar yoga and I'm connected to Yugals, Reedies, Newmans, Thorns, Collards from down south and Balladong. I'm here today because Nadine Dodd, Cleveland Dodd's mum, asked me to speak for her today. And a note that some of the content that I'm going to share is going to be a bit distressing and contain themes of violence against young mob from prison officers, so just take care of yourselves and step out if you need to. Nadine is one of the strongest women that I know. She refuses to let the system break her. A system that killed her 16-year-old son, Cleveland, in 2023 in an adult maximum security prison. But each day, Nadine gets up and calls for the WA government to close Unit 18 so no other child is tortured, caged, neglected, broken into taking his own life like Cleveland Dodd was. Cleveland, rest in peace. Loved going to school, he loved learning, he loved painting, riding horses, playing guitar. He was much, much loved by his community. In December last year, after a 2-year inquest, the coroner found that Cleveland was held in solitary confinement for months on end. That is torture! He was locked down for more than 22 hours a day. He had no running water. He had inadequate mental health care. It was a maximum security adult prison and he was 16 years old. He begged for water and he was denied water. That fateful night, he warned prison staff 8 times that he was going to self-harm, and they did nothing. The coroner found that the WA government failed Cleveland again and again, and that they are responsible for taking his life. Cleveland's death was preventable. It was predictable, like so many other black deaths in custody before Cleveland and after Cleveland. right now. Despite a clear, urgent recommendation from the coroner that the Unit 18 must close immediately. The coroner was clear. There is nothing preventing the government from doing that right now, closing Unit 18. The Banksia Hill repairs are complete. Those excuses are gone. And when in December last year the United Nations wanted to get into Unit 18 and Banksia Hill, this government blocked them. They blocked the UN Global Human Rights Watchdog to avoid accountability. Shame! Cleveland's death did not have to happen. And if we allow Unit 18 to stay open, it will happen again. In the past 2 years, 2 children have died in youth prison under Minister Papalia's watch. Shame! Children are inside Unit 18 tonight and they are at risk. But Minister Papalia, he wants to pour millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into a new youth prison at Banksia Hill instead of what we know works. Housing, healing, community programs. Close Unit 18. Not in 3 years, not after another inquiry, not after another mother like Nadine has to bury her child. Close it now. I ask everyone to go into Social Reinvestment WA's page and sign the open letter calling on this government to close Unit 18 and put alternatives that support kids in place. Nadine says to say a huge thank you to everyone for all of the support her family's received so far. Justice for Cleveland, done!
Okay, our next speaker is...
Kaya kaya ngala mort mort kurt. Hindi ningo buja ano. Always was, always will be. Kaya kaya hindi nga buja. Wanju bria wirin. Kaya ngala mort kurt. Kaya ngala mort kurt. Kaya ngala mort kurt babria. Wabadong chuk yoga. Kaliwa murit mamen. Wabadong murit kuringa babria. Kaya kaya wanju ngala mort kurt. Did you know Abuja Hana? Always was, always will be. Always was, and always will be my New Orleans. I've been here from the beginning, and I will be here until the end. I come from the dream time, and forever will descend. My ancient spirits of this land, they follow me as I roam the land. I will hold my head up high, for no one could ever be more astray than me. No. I'd like to acknowledge my elders, past, present, and emerging in the future. I acknowledge that the ground we are standing on here today, Buraloo, Wajak Buja, Nidinunga Buja, always was, always will be. Hey, firstly, I would like to give my condolences to the mob over in Bondi Beach, okay, who were terrorised and who were shot. What's been saying in the paper, that's the first. No. The first ever terrorist attack in this country on our soil was done through the colonisers. Here we go, Aliwa Manat. Ngala King Mort, Ngala Bull Mort. We are one, but we are many. Aliwa Manat, Nidinunga Buja. Always was, always will be.
Palestine. My father's a Korean man. Thank you. So today we've done a song especially for this day. We only got the message like a week ago, so we've made it within 2 days, and we're just trying to get everything sorted, yeah. So sorry, yeah. Thank you. And we also got another song as well that we recorded for NAIDOC about 2 years ago for to keep the fire burning. Anyone remember that?
Yes.
Yeah? That's it, yeah. And why they're doing this here, I don't know, does anyone want to have a say about something? Well, you can. I know you got the singing voice. Yeah, another one, yeah. But it's not right what they're doing, like, we all come together for freedom of speech, that's one of their laws that they gave to us. And we can't even use our voice without getting pushed along. So, is everyone ready? Hey? Keep going. Oh, yeah, okay. So if she's all hold with me for 1 minute, it's all a bit of a mix-up, but it's okay, we can still do it,
Go.
Yeah, you just want to introduce yourself?
Well, I'm a 17-year-old proud Whadjuk Ballardong man. I'm a proud battle from the Brookton Whadjuk Ballardong tribe, and I'm here to perform for you with my brother boys here.
Yeah. How do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm regional Lugar person, family Alice and Darwin, and right now we're having a show and make people happy.
Yeah.
And fuck the system.
Yeah.
The pigs up there.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dogs.
Yeah.
And all right, and then and then let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. 6K dream.
Sticky.
Yeah.
Lift me up.
Yeah. Hey, this is what I have to say.
This is what I tell ya.
How would you feel if nobody wanna help you? Fighting through the storm and we fighting for some shelter. Try to break you down so they hit you and they belt you. Fighting for so long, still standing strong. We ain't standing down, cause it's where we belong. Go on, change the date, you can see that this is wrong. Listen to the message that we put in the song. We ain't backing down, cause we standing strong and proud. Get up, be loud, let's hear it through the crowd. Vibrations to the ground, you can feel it all around. It's time to unite and rejoice to the sound. We came a long way, but there's still more to be found. It's time to shine together and we shine through this cloud. However, we all humankind in these hard times. So listen what I tell you through these hard rhymes. There's a lot of history they was faking, like all of the children that were taken. They're fake custody in all of the races, stereotypes in all of these faces. Like what? Tell me how to feel. Young black man, my brother try to kill. Man, it's survive our will. Live to this day, cause it's how we heal. Like what?
We still surviving. We're surviving so long. Still standing strong.
We survived
So long. Still standing strong. We surviving so long. Still standing strong.
survived for
So long. justice to help us Aboriginal people. Racial profiling, you know where brothers, black fathers come together and rise. Ain't no one taking us off. We need to change the day. Death race to the white man, to the Aboriginal man. We need to change the date. We need to come together as one. As one. We're still surviving. They tried wiping our culture out, but we're still surviving. 200 years what? They tried wiping us out. Yeah. And they still moving us along, but they can't take us. Yeah. Next one. Keep the fire burning. We keep the fire burning over and over. We keep the fire burning. We keep the fire burning. We keep the fire burning over and over. Throw your hands up. Wave us outside. See us on the stage. It's time to shine. And a better day. When we have something to say. And our government. Cause right now we get left out. Thrown to the side like we've been forgot about. But I would stand for that. I'ma stand strong. Stand tall. We gotta come together. Replace each other all as one nation. Show the whole mind that we ain't good on separation. So come on, sing along to this song. If you feeling it, put your hands in the air. If you really can. Keep the fire burning to the very end. And over and over again. So we keep the fire burning to the very end. Over and over. We keep the fire burning. We keep the fire burning. We keep the fire burning. Over and over.
they hit you and they belt you. Fighting for so long, still standing strong. We ain't backing down, cause this where we belong. Going to the date, you can see that this is wrong. Listen to the message that we put in this song. We ain't standing down, cause we standing strong and proud. Get up, be loud, let's see it through the town. Vibrations through the ground, you can feel it all around. It's time to unite and deep joints to the sound. But it's still more to be found. It's time to shine together and shine through the cloud. We all humankind in these hard times. So listen what I tell you through these hard rhymes. There's a lot of history that was faking, like all of the children that were taken. They're saying custody and all of the races. Stereotypes seeing all of their faces. Like what? Tell me how to feel. Young black man, my pride they try to kill. We man and survive our will. So go and change the date, cause it's time we heal. Like what? We still surviving. We survived for so long. Still standing strong. We survived for so long. Still standing strong. We survived for so long. Still standing strong. For so long. Still standing strong. We survived for so long. We standing strong. We survived for so long. Still standing strong. We survived for so long. Still standing strong.
And they try whopping us out and they try to do it to this day and they go mark something on the calendar. 26th of January for Australian Day. Ain't nothing to celebrate cause his real name is Invasion Day. And while we still getting treated like this till this day, we need to hurry up and change the day. This system is straight to rough. We need to have a say, not just the white man talking about what's good for us. I'm a proud white fellow dog on my mum's side. I'm a proud Australian on my dad's side, but I'm rapping and speaking to my black side. So we need survivors so long, over 50,000 years. Well, they still taking our children away and killing and getting away. Why is the system so corrupt? Why do they love the didgeridoo but hate the black man that plays it too? Where's the hell was Aboriginal people? Racial profiling to get you nowhere. All this come together as one. This is our league. Ain't no longer enough, so we need to change it. They check the death rate. So the white man to the Aboriginal man. We need to change the date. We need to come together as one. Yeah, we still surviving strong.
Still standing here to this day.
We keep the fire burning black, loud and proud.
And we're gonna keep doing it till we die.
You
Yeah.
can never wipe our identity or our culture out of Australian soil.
All the time. Gonna be here. Never gonna leave our country.
They think England own this land, but sure Aboriginals own this land.
Yeah. Thank
We gonna
you.
start breakdancing now.
That's the Seaside Dream. And we're gonna play some 120 now.
Yeah.
Come up. Come up.
Yeah, let's thank the young generation for the voice. The three young men here. I'm not a sort of a rap man, but I think I fell in love with the music. So I'll be buying the tape. If you send me a tape, I would like a copy.
engagement. And I would like to acknowledge that, and I would like to say shame. Okay, now I'm going to share. Year after year, they sing the anthem for the exclusive women who are young and free. They hold on to the Australia Day, cling to the ideals of an Australian dream, never minding the ugly star lying right down the centre. Dreams built on the foundations of genocide, rape and murder, but not in a
what this day represents for so many different people. Today, as you look around, this is what our culture is about. Us standing together, us being peaceful together, as one celebrating that in 2026, we are here, we are alive. Border.
How you going, everyone? I want to give you a quick little lesson on intergenerational trauma and homelessness. And this is living results. This is it, what is standing right in front of you all. My father fought for this country in Vietnam. Yes. He fought for the rights of everyone to be equal. He was a forward scout, and he had the most dangerous job in the fucking army. And he did that as a 17-year-old boy. When he done that, he fought for his rights to be an Australian citizen.
But they forgot them.
That's
they forgot them. The men.
They need to rewrite the Constitution. Simple. This is how we will get our fucking treaty back, our sovereignty back, and this is how we want it back. No other way. There's no other second guessing. My father set up the Royal Commission to Black Deaths in Custody. He took 40 delegates over to Libya to meet Colonel Gaddafi. He did that. My mum's sister was the first Australian representative for the United Nations, Dr. Helen Corbett. She was the first representative to represent Australia in the United Nations. Where's the acknowledgement they get? None. They get nothing. I'm not even a citizen. The Constitution is written illegally.
But you don't get recognised when you come home.
These people here are the thugs for the government. These police officers, where's the bomb? Where's the bomb they told us to move? They stand here and they're going to try and move us along again. I'm sick of getting arrested by these pugs. I'm homeless. I've been out of prison 6 years. And the homelessness on the streets, you hear people dying all the time. You don't hear nothing of it on the news. I'm telling you right now, I hear it every day. That's shame. I walk these streets every night, and I've taken it upon myself to get myself better so I can lead by example. I'm now working 2 jobs and I'm fucking homeless. So there's no excuse for no one. Alright? What we do together as one is what will stop this here. When we unite, when we stand together, when we stand proud and we stand tall, that's when we won't be defeated. I plead sovereignty in the courts every time I go to prison, every time I go to court. I tell the judge that I'm not recognising your Constitution, I'm not flora and fauna, I'm not an Australian citizen, therefore that makes me an illegal alien in my own country. That's shame! Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, well, my grandfather named Joseph Pickett. He was the first born on Whadjuk. But it's not Whadjuk here. It's actually Belia. Because the Whadjuk took radical claim of my heritage. The water is Belia. I'm actually from the first bloodline. Top. I am Miller on the Swan River. See Millers? Go across the river there, you'll see Millers and Shettons, all one bloodline. We are the first settlers here. My grandfather is George.
Thank you, Loretta.
Thank you. I will get all of you. We'll claim in someone else's territory.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. My name's Lisea, and every day I go onto here, I roam the streets in the city, and I see Aboriginal people being racially profiled every single day! Every single day, from Māori whānau to Aboriginal whānau, I see this disgusting shit that has been failed by the system. And here we stand for Māori whānau to Aboriginal family, that we all share the same injustice set up by the same people to be racially profiled and cast out. We share the same problems. We don't get housing, we don't have help, we both die younger than the expected age. Every single day we get disgusting comments. We are not welcomed to our own land. Our children were stolen. Our land was stolen. And anyone who agrees that Australia Day should be celebrated, and any white New Zealander, Pākehā New Zealander, any white Australian who thinks this day should be celebrated, should not. It's disgusting.
I'll add what I say before we move on. Now, you heard a story today, and you heard a story called A Cry for Help. She's asked the community to give time for her and her family to get justice. So, the door's open. If you can help, please do. Reach out to her family and let us know. We'll come along and support out the courts.
Man, I work in Noongar Community Housing, and our society has a massive challenge in front of us. I'm seeing the impact every day of poor social and housing policy. A housing wait list that's years long, a lack of services to help people through the toughest times in their life.
Place your banners. Bring your banners. Put them here.
While housing is treated as an investment instead of homes for all of us.
Put them down there.
Shame.
Put all your banners down here.
Most of us in our society face the threat of homelessness.
Can we have all your banners? The small banners.
Here in our own country. Up the front, come on.
Where's the Iron one?
This has been our country as Noongar people for thousands of generations. And yet, like the prison system, we're overrepresented in the homelessness community. Shame. This is brilliant work. Thank you.
Bring all your banners so we know what we're doing. What we're fighting for. Look there, look there. Look all the stories, man.
Housing justice, if we don't deal with it, it hurts us all as a society. More and more households are forced into homelessness. Whether that looks like living with multiple families under one roof, in a tent, on the street. We see them here in the city, or in their car. Many of our people end up hurt, sick, abused, in prison, and dying young. Way too young. The trauma that led to the homelessness and the homeless, and the trauma of being homeless itself goes untreated. There's no time, no money, no transitional help, nothing. Or as people said earlier, crumbs, which are probably worse than nothing, because then they can say they're doing something when they're doing fuck all. People are having to choose between living in danger with domestic violence at home or in the danger of living on the street. It's not a choice anyone here should make. There's nowhere near enough support for these people in crisis, and more are in crisis every week. And we can beg, and we can plead, and we can petition this government up the road there, and we should demand our needs are met and hold them to account. That's our job as a society. We shouldn't be afraid of them. They should be afraid of us. But time and time again, Labor, Liberal, National and their buddies over at One Nation, they don't care. They don't care about us. They care about their rich mates. If you got money, they love you. But for the rest of us, they don't give a shit. They've shown us who they are. They've shown them who we are. They've shown us who they are. Let's bloody believe them. Don't believe the lies. Look at their actions or lack of. And we're seeing the warning signs of where Australia's heading. You can see what's happening up the road there. Our closest allies in the United States and the United Kingdom, they're already a few years ahead of us. And in the US, the Ku Klux Klan runs the US. KKK run the USA. But what's that got to do with us here? We're miles away, right? We're on the other side of the world. Well, our government is in lockstep in support with them. The United States government, it's all connected. Again, they're looking after the rich mates. And we're seeing what US government and Australian-backed forces have done recently in Gaza with a live stream genocide the last couple of years. And all over our phones in the last few months, we've seen what ICE is doing, occupying American cities. And their king, their leader, their chief, Donald Trump, has friends abroad. He's got friends in the UK, Nigel Farage and the Reform Party, you heard of them? Well, they're a few years ahead of us. They want to establish and roll out their own version of ICE in their towns and cities. And Donald Trump also has friends here in Australia. Pauline Hanson and her party. And the billionaires like Gina Reinhart, the one that's sponsoring the party over there. The amnesia event happening down the road to divide our community. Billionaires are investing in that to keep us divided so we don't fight them. But we're smarter than that. But like I said, overseas, they're a few years down the track. We've got to learn from these lessons. So Reform is the most popular party in the UK now, and One Nation, just like them, is surging in the polls here in Australia. And in America, ICE is abducting people from their homes, kidnapping, deporting, publicly executing people in the street. Many of them Indigenous people. The people of the land are being removed from their own land right in front of us. The wealthy class, sponsored far right, is surging. One Nation has a long history. I'm old enough to remember, back in the 90s, they had a long history of coming after us, Aboriginal people. They come after us first, but they won't stop there. We must learn from what's happening elsewhere in the world. It's a small world. It's up to us to beat them. It's up to us to stop them. The fight is here. Fighting divisive culture wars on their terms does not work though. It's adding fuel to their divisive narrative. They just get some more support. They're counting us not being organised and not realising our power. We have to put our differences aside. There's a lot of people here, but there's a lot of people that aren't here. All right? Everyone wants a day off work, and they deserve it. But we must put our differences aside. We must establish connections, and communities that we didn't think were possible. We must broaden our imagination. If we're to win, we must build an alternative. It's all good to stamp our feet and raise our voice, but we must build an alternative to the hateful world that the wealthy class are imposing on us, because it's here. So what do? What can we do? We're just regular people, right? But look around. This is the tip of the iceberg, but we are millions. Join your union. Join Rahu. The housing union is a key battleground. Housing. We all need a home. Join the organisations that are here. We're all on the same side. Do whatever you can. That's all you need to do. That's all we can do. Because we must do all that we can do to help each other. It's as simple as that. First Nations people are only 3% of this country. We're a small minority, about 1 million people out of what, 26, 27 million. But together, we are the many. And they are the few. The wealthy class, we can get over and overcome every challenge they put in our way. So get ready, we have a world to win. Thank you. Okay.
Solidarity forever!
Anyone from those organisations I mentioned want to come up? Now's your opportunity. This is called organising right here. This is our audience. Everyone here is a participant in the change that we're building. That's right.
That's called King Richard. The Supreme here is the courts there.
Hey!
Is the Brockman.
They say this is a unusual country. You do it's up to us. They say this is a safe country, but we're not safe. How does that work? We don't get it. Do we? We don't. They say there's fair rights. We don't get them, do we? No. So how is it a fair? How do we have a fair right if we can't get all of them? All of us. That's a lie, exactly. They say they have principles until they can apply to us, right? They say they love our skin, but they hate us at the same time. Is that right? No.
Quiet, you mob. One of the uncles just wants to say something and then I'll be on.
You better get it right. How are we gonna change? How are we gonna do these things, people? We have to stand together. We got to start voting. We've got to start voting and changing laws and changing legislations because these fellas are getting away with too much. What we all understand is that they change laws and acts every day. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of what the laws that they're changing. They change the laws from a robbery to stealing charge to a robbery. Now this charge carries whatever weight of jail sentence it does, but they changed the laws. They can hold you for up to 2 years in prison. They used to be able to do. They changed the laws and the acts, and now it's 5 years in prison without charging you with anything. Without you being able to be legally responsible to hold them accountable for holding you for that period of time, you can't do it. They've changed the laws just recently, and they're going to continue to do it with the Supermax prison that they've built, and there's going to be more killings, there's going to be more deaths, there's going to be more depression. Mental health is a big thing for this as well, especially the drug use that's on the streets, and the police are the ones that are flooding the fucking streets with it. I know this from fucking experience. I'm sitting here watching it every day, and it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs because they laugh at us. I've been arrested that many times. I've taken them to trial twice, and I've beaten them twice on my own. But these facts are the facts. And what we do today with it, whether we leave it here or take it with us and go forward and start moving together as one people, because we are one. I consider all of you my family here. Drop of the hat. I'd do anything for any one of you. I'd die for you. Right? That's who I am. I'll give the shirt off my back to anyone. But what we need to start doing is start making plans to, because this year is 2026, Boxing Day is the 200-year bicentenary for the west coast of Australia. That's where the British Empire closed their book on the 7 seas and conquering all the lands besides Antarctica. You know what I mean? This is what's going to happen, is that they're going to fuck us over, and if you've got no blackfellow, if you've got Aboriginal in you, your culture's not there, you can't speak your language, you've been dislocated, displaced, taken to other places. This is the story of what they've done. We've all been misplaced. My grandmother's born in Kings Park, my great-great-great-grandmother. Same as her great-great-great-grandmother and grandfather. We all one mob. All these Nyungas here, all one mob, we all blood. It's always been like that for 50,000 years. Now, they won't even give us a chance to talk. These police won't listen, the government won't listen, the state won't listen, the federal won't listen, because all the world has come here and they've all got a plot of land here, except for the Indigenous Australian, except for the Nyunga. I am homeless and I've got nothing, but yet I'm a traditional owner of this Swan River. That's shame. My family fought and we will continue to fight. On these streets, I marched on these streets since I was a baby, as long as I can remember. I protested up and down these streets with my father, up until he passed away from Agent Orange. And that was a horrific death within itself. It was cancerous, and to watch that, it's heartbreaking. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. Perfect song. Fucked up day. You can celebrate it as Survival Day, Convict Day, Australia Day, whatever you want to call it. This is a day that should be changed, and we should be celebrating a WA Day on June the 1st. This was the day where we should celebrate this day. And I'd celebrate it with every Australian, black, white, whatever, every racist. I'd celebrate with all them fellas, and I'd celebrate right in the middle with them. That's who we are, and that's what we should be doing, standing together and standing proud, and not letting these idiots fucking dictate us, dictate our lives.
Oi, Noongar, Wanga, Yamajas, and the top end mob, you gotta stick together now. I did a copy for the Noongar Buja Wajak. My dad is a Noongar Wajak warrior, Kelvin Garland.
Now. Kaya mob. So for those who don't know me, I'm Jade Cameron. I'm Kevin Cameron's granddaughter. My father was the burial man for Rottnest Island. You know when they dug up our men's bones and wanted to build up, places on burial sites, mass burial sites. My grandfather and other grandfathers had to protest for our men that were taken across country onto an island and put there in cells to rot. Shame! 2026, and I come here today where I've always come to country, right, for Survival Day, to be with my elders on country, and the police come to move us where we have always come, and we have always always protested. We have always spoken about the things that they have done, and they tried to move us on today. I had to sit through an inquest for a child, and everybody in Perth and everybody around the world knows, because it's the only place in the whole world that made a makeshift prison cell for little boys inside a men's prison in 5 days. Shame! Now, I worry about my babies. I'm a mother of 8 kids. I have 6 sons. I have 2 daughters. Back in 2022, my partner and I went through a separation. Now, they came and took all 8 kids from me. I have no drug history, I have no criminal history, but because it says, because of their kangaroo court, that apparently Aboriginals can't protect themselves and their kids from domestic violence, so they took all 8 of my babies from me. My babies are all colours. My baby's creamy, black. Yeah, that's right. They colour-coded my babies in 2022 while I'm trying to fight for them and whisk them off away into all different places and locations, and I'm still trying to fight them to this day. I got up and I went to NAIDOC Ball and sat across from Docs, the head of Docs, in 2022, less than 3 weeks after they took my babies. Something wrong with me, eh? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Same, nothing's wrong with any of us, but being Aboriginal in this country in 2026, shame, apparently, because of their system, their laws. Now, the Premier got over 47 recommendations from the state coroner to shut down Unit 18. Shut it down! Shut it down! Do you know what the state Premier said? And his wife's a black fella too, would you please? This is embarrassing. Do you know what the state Premier said? Nah, I want to leave it open for another 3 years. Why are we the only state, the only country to house Aboriginal children inside a men's prison that was made not safe, and in a matter of 5 days? You know what they did to also those male prisoners? They took their rights away. They held them away. They made it worse. WA prisons, all prisons, but WA alone, do you know how hard it is for our men and women inside the prisons? In 2026, we're still asking that they send in these organisations to go out and help our men and women rehabilitate. Our men and women are sitting inside cells, artists, sports players, dancers, you name it, all walks of life. And yet here we are fighting for justice in 2026. Shame! Do you know what I want to see? I want to see Unit 18 closed down, effective of immediately, like it was recommended. Like it was recommended. Because if it was a white kid, if it was any other race, you would have shut that unit down. But why? Why, when it's an Aboriginal boy, you say, nah, we don't want to do that? Why has Banksia Hill, for over 30 years, still low on resources? Why will they not put that money into building new prisons? The prisons are run down. There's no support when men and women come out of jail. Where our people go, they don't get no housing. Same as what my brother said. No housing, no help to get home, no resources to come back into the community. So how is anything going to change if they aren't going to help us make it change? You know what I want to see in 2026? I want to see mobs kids not being taken just because we black and the rules should be different, eh? I nearly got and fell over. They said to me that because I'm not white, that that's the only reason my kids got taken. I said, what? I said, how? How? I said, but look at me. I look like you. You know when they say, oh, you're not mom, you're not nothing. answer to you. Well, what you mean, am I one of them? Yeah, I'm one of them, and what? Doesn't matter whether I say I'm not, because in the system on my birth certificate, apparently, as long as I'm a proud Noongar Yamaji, well, fuck, I'm just as good as fucked as the rest of us. But anyway, let's try and make changes in systems. Let's help push for these organisations. Let's start supporting our men and women inside prisons and the children, because this should not be happening in 2026. Do you know what's also embarrassing? Yeah, and Uncle, you know what's embarrassing? These mob, we are the only country in the world that celebrates not 1, not 2, but 3 days that we were colonised. I feel sick.
All right. I just want to say something right now. My name is Kai Kookaburra. I represent the Kookaburra. I want to know as the ancestors of my country. My country is Wangai, Yamaji, Noongar. And I represent you, my boy. And I want you to come across together and represent all as one. Because at the end of the day, we are one people. Thank you, hallelujah, God bless you.
Hey everyone, my name is Zareth Roy, I'm a Yamaji man. But I just want to express and just, put a few facts out there just for the state and, some other things. I just want to say, for a country that preaches fairness, where's the fairness in today? This date hasn't always been on this date, and it has been changed before throughout the years, so it's not like they can't change it. And just also with their, things like the Union Jack still around on our major flags and stuff, that thing is like the swastika to us, that's still really hurtful, to see, a lot of our flags. And even that design, was chosen at a time when Aboriginal people didn't have a voice, we weren't classed as citizens, so, yeah. But yeah, that's all I want to really say, just put some of these facts out there, that for people that may not know, and, hopefully we can change it in the future.
Rightio, we're Fabian. Fabian, what we reckon, we'll give a couple of more people to give us a yarn and then we'll close it, okay? And the music? You want to play the music? Yeah. You want to, anybody out there? This is an open mic. Anybody want to talk? Not the same ones. Not the same ones. God.
People are killing, people are dying. Children practice what you preach. Can you turn the other cheek? Turn further.
My name's Trey. I'm just going to keep it really brief. I want to tell you the story about someone who was never allowed to properly embrace who they are or know who they are. Yvonne Dawn Wild was born on the 11th of September 1935. She's a beautiful baby girl. She was bright, bubbly, and happy. No, of course.
We are here till 5 o'clock, so we need more yarns.
Lovely update, means I can make it a little bit longer.
Not the same people.
Yvonne was born in Calgary, and then she was moved to St. Margaret Mission. Yvonne didn't know if she had any brothers or sisters. She didn't know the face of her mum. She didn't know the face of her dad. She never knew their names. Yvonne became Bonita and Niven. And when she was 10 years old, kids in her school pointed out how her nose was bigger than the others. How her skin was not tan, but just a little bit darker. Bonnie, or Yvonne, was my grandmother on my mother's side. We spent our entire lives trying to track down any sliver
any shard of our family. We jump through all the hoops, all the government bureaucracy, red tape you have to go through, only to find out that majority of her documents had either been misdocumented, misfiled, or destroyed. Why is it now, today, when, as we heard before, kids are still getting taken, people are still being removed from their families, people still have to fight just to find out where they came from, to find out what, they have to prove a percentage of blood when they have stacks of evidence, when they have photos and letters and documents from people and community members that remember things. But it's not accepted. Why is it all still locked away? Why do we have to wait over 100 years just to find out what our grandparents' real last name is? To find out where we actually come from, to find out who our family is, our blood, our land, our country, to find out where it is and to know who we are. I know I don't come across very Indigenous. I'm pale as a ghost, and I love my dad's Welsh blood for that. That's a joke, by the way, please. God, I'm so nervous. I didn't plan any of this. But I'll finish it off, I won't ramble on. Bonnie was, my nana was a guiding light in the community. She was a hard worker, worked herself quite literally to the death. She was even working in a hospital bed. I still remember she passed away on 2 days after my 6th birthday, and she gave back to the community. She was the pioneer for 2 or 3 of Perth's biggest support groups aimed at women experiencing domestic violence.
Man, I can say you're a warrior, always be strong, and you go everything that you do.
Thank you. And it's important that even when people are gone, we still tell their story, especially if they never had the chance to. So thank you for listening to my grandmother's story. Thank you.
How you going? I might be white, but I got raised up on Noongars all my life. I got Noongar children, and basically because I was raised by the state, great state government, had to defend myself to certain things. Because I was prim, they took my children, so I had a choice. I had to leave or stay. I chose to leave so that my ex-partner could raise my children, and then Noongars. I then went over to another state and had more children to another woman, and they did the same thing. They said because I'm a criminal, I'm not good enough to be a father. What? Because like you took me in, you took me away from my parents, and you made me who I am. I had to defend myself, became who I am. I walk the streets for the last 2 weeks now, and I've met some really nice people. And at the end of the day, my ex-partner showed me a TikTok thing, and I was actually just distraught. Little 8-year-old kids sitting in jails, as the other lady was saying. 8-year-old children sitting in jails because the system is fucked. And you'd rather fucking lock an 8-year-old in a fucking man's jail, and fucking you wonder why Rangefield was fucking shut down. For people like me that grew up in the system, we had that shit shut down. And then you got fucking payouts because of what fucking they were doing to fucking people, not just white people and the Noongars. You know, stripping them naked. You weren't even meant to do that. You know, they're children. Shame. That's all I got to say.
Hi everyone, my name's Fabian. We've got these sheets to be handed around. This is mobilisation, so if everyone can sign this sheet, put your name and your details down, so in a couple of weeks' time, or a month's time, we're going to sit down and I'll contact everybody by email, by phone, and see if we can sit down and do mobilisation of different groups. Like in Perth, we're going to mobilise and we're going to get Aboriginal people coming together, and also the whole community needs to come together as one mob. So if we get that sheet signed around, that'd be great, okay?
Hi, I'm Rose. Like my two
brothers and my sister before me. I'm one of those mob, white presenting. And it gives us some sort of insight, you know, you see kind of what happens to your family around you that's not white presenting. But you also get, in a sense, white privilege of experiencing what other white people will say around you. And I want to say that today is not the only day, or the days around it, that we should be having these conversations. They happen 365 days of the year. It starts with calling out those little comments and also taking it back to a couple of the other topics we've gone on. Making people question why. They want to talk about immigration, they want to talk about Aboriginal people, they want to talk about all of this stuff, but it's not the people next to us, it's the fucking ones above us. It is the ones that should be paying their fucking taxes, that could support systems for all of us, and especially for our fucking children. Like, can't see him now, but I want to tell you guys a story about a white woman that was friends with my family. She was a foster parent. Racist motherfucker. Not one of those, oh, like, I'm not outwardly racist. But somehow this woman still ended up with an Indigenous child in her fucking care. How the fuck does the government give her shit tons of fucking money to care for a kid who she has no cultural sensitivities about? She does not give a flying fuck about, but they won't provide resources to Aboriginal families to help better care for their children? All that money could come from taxing the appropriate fucking people. The average nurse here in WA pays more fucking tax than any of the mining companies. That is embarrassing, right? So have these conversations every day. When someone starts to talk about fucking immigrants this or Aboriginal people that, whatever the fuck it is, make them question why they feel that way and remind them that it's not those people harming their healthcare, their education, or whatever the hell, their jobs, their whatever they want to blame someone else for. It is the people on top oppressing all of us, no matter we are black or white. Thank you. Conversations every day.
If Jesse Camilleri Seba is out there and you've lost some valuable stuff, just come up to the stage here.
Thank you, Sam. Now I want to talk to you about the prison system here. Now you all may not know me, but some of the people who've been in prison, especially Casuarina prison and Acacia prison. Everyone knows my sister Rosalie Kickett? Yeah, well, she works in the system. And I'm just like everybody else here where people are getting paid to work in the system to take our will away from us. And therefore, we're sitting without a voice. For 2 years of my life and that there, since the 7th of August 2023, I have been trying to get people involved here with my daughter's murder case and that there. And I'm still here standing and pulling my grief together. Another 4 weeks, another 4 weeks and that there, I'll be standing right here on the 5th of March this month for justice for my daughter. Now here, I stand for domestic violence as well, to showing people that we had enough is enough. I stand here supporting Fabian here because, as I said, I'm a genealogist here, and Fabian and I, we actually come from the first bloodline. His grandmother and my mother are sisters. No one don't know because we carry the different last name. He comes under Yaron, I come under Kickett. But I'm one of the original bloodline because the Millers here own the Swan River. We own the Swan River because the name is on the Swan River across the road from South Perth here, who's connected into George Shenton. George Shenton is my my 8th generation grandfather. Now, if anyone wants help and that there to do their family tree and that there, I'm here. And I'm reaching out to everyone here so I can help and support you and get your family tree in proper order. Because why? We need to find ourselves. We need to identify where our birthing grounds come from. My grandfather married King George III. Now, I'm an ex-AIEO relief teacher. I worked at Narrogin Senior High School, so I've actually worked in with a lot of children. my grandson, Clive Kickett, for 2 years straight, he was going through racial discrimination. Hey, no, bring him here. Is he right? You know, he was standing on the side of me. Are you right, Uncle? Leave him alone. Hey? Someone punched him. Hey, so he just told me someone punched him and jumped on his feet. Now, how disgraceful is that? We come here for peace. And that this is shame when we have our people here are trying to stop war. She's not doing anything, eh? What is she doing?
I love Aboriginal people. They always fight for their right, and you should always fight for your right. Nothing will ever be right unless you fight for your right. If you leave and you don't fight for your right, that's not right, okay? See, my name's Anon. I'm South Sudanese. I'm a black woman. That's why I support Aboriginal. And this is a fucking black land. It would never be a fucking white nation. It's Aboriginal land. A fucking black land. Amen. Bye.
Very passionate, guys, everybody. Very passionate there. Anyways, moving forward. Sorry, children. We apologise for the children. Sorry, you mob. Anyway, moving forward. Survival Day. So today, you know what everybody leaving from here and coming here needs to ask themselves, what does Survival Day mean to you? What changes need to be made? Incarceration, deaths in custody, resources inside the prisons. Yeah, 2026 and we're still asking for this. Homelessness needs to change amongst our people. Many things, but we can come and talk about it, but is anybody leaving here today going to go and start making those implements for those changes? Are they going to raise those awarenesses in the prisons? Are they going to raise those awarenesses in the hospitals? And you know, like, it's kind of tiring complaining. I know how tiring it is complaining. Mums, how hard is it hearing people's complaints all day? You know what I mean? But us women, we hear complaints all day long, every day long, you know. But that's what this system needs, is complaints. They need tireless amounts of complaints and never-ending stories and people and witnesses and testimonies to go up there and start making these changes. We need people to start doing the groundwork, you know what I mean? We're not going to get anywhere if we don't start going and doing the groundwork. We can talk about it, but is anybody going to leave here and do anything about it? Because I'm tired, just as much as everybody else is, but we still have to come back here every year. We're always going to, because what? Always was? Always will be. Always was? Always will be. Always was? Always will be. A one-time game in case these mob never heard our black beautiful voices. Always was? Always will be. Always will be. Always was? Always will be.
My name's Zach James. I'm Wongatha, Yamaji and Murray mob. Very proud to be here on Wajak Noongar Boodja right now. Nyang Karijin Nija Boodja Wajak Noongar Boodja. We usually have Birak Festival, Survival Day Festival, everything happening after this now with music, and that's been taken away from us. So I asked to play music. I asked to tell some stories, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to tell some stories and sing some songs. In a second. Or dramatic for nothing last night. That's him. This song's called Guru, means your eyes. She was born in a broken land, stolen aside by a holy white man. Done it again, he done it again. Always before, never again. He was found in a burning car, stolen the car and crashed it into a wall. He done it again, he done it again. Always before, never again. Never again. Never again. Never again. Telling stories, you can't sleep in, there's someone coming. I hope you see them first. Okay, this song's by Uncle Archie. It's called From Paradise. She was born in the Riverlands, born from her mother into her mother's hands. She was free as the river was wild. She was so innocent, such a beautiful child. If you know the song, sing it. Where everything was beautiful and very nice. They took her away, her mother's tongue, and slapped her around a little bit to teach her another one. In and out of institutions. What could they do with this child? What's a neat solution? There is none, but there was nothing they could do. So they gave her to the streets, where she joined all the rest of the tired and the hungry feet. And they took her away from paradise, where everything was beautiful and very nice. They took her away, her mother's tongue, and slapped her around a little bit to teach
was going through. But he was confused, so he ran away. She found him again now, here she is today. And they took her away from paradise, where everything was beautiful and very nice. They took her away, her mother's tongue, and slapped her around a little bit to teach her another one.
Thank you. This is my last song I'm going to play now. This song's called Freedom. I wrote this song for us mob when we got to go back to our country after mining companies kicked us out for 40 years. And we weren't allowed on our own country. It's the same here now. There's concrete here, but all those and all them spirits are dancing underneath the ground, beneath you everywhere. All that nunga mort, all that blood, that's all here underneath the ground wherever we are. So if you mob want to help me sing, you can help me sing. All I need you to do is go, oh, oh. Can you mob do that? Try it out. Oh. Yeah, good enough. So when I nod to you, that's when you do it, okay? Yeah, keep that yidaki going. Not too long ago, we were free. When the rains came down over my country, then the white man came with his drugs and guns and took our children away from us. All this grief is coming up, gone from my green grass. Now, again. Keep going. One more. Yeah, that's it. 30 years soon pass. See how we grown. Under something, sun, blood and bones. Jammu, we're back home. Can you see? Yeah. All this grief come from my green grass again. Ooh. One more. Stop. Home, home, I'm coming home. Home, home, I'm coming home. Nurabana, Jogaba, Nura, Nayobana, Nayobana, Nurabana, Bujara, Nyang Buj, Nyang Bujara, 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 home, home, I'm coming home to you, you, I'm coming home to you. Thank you. Keep up your mob, and you mob behind us as well. Keep safe today. Make sure we keep each other safe and look after each other, you mob.